Oh, hey everybody, how you doing? For those of you who are still there, sorry it took me so long, folks. I'm having a little bit of a party here. It's 4th of July, the weekend. There's lots of festivities, so I was doing something for a little while there. But now I'm ready. How's it going, Fen? Hey. So, so mainly I meant to just get on today. We just have an open chat. I just want to see what kind of things you guys are all wanting to talk about, what you guys are interested in. So. Hold on, I'm just responding to Allie real quick because I just realized she responded to me. Let's see here. 3 people. All right, folks, hold on. All right. So, anyways, Finn, hashtag 80 more things, right? We love Finn. If you don't follow Finn on Twitter, go check her out. In fact, I can probably give you guys a link for that. She's brilliant. She did the 80 more things, which comes from one of my favorite Stacy Seabrook songs, as you all know. And so here's her link to her Twitter. Hi, Catnip. And we love Finn and Finn, along with Julie Pom Pom, many others, like Tracy Strunsey's daughter, along with the hosts for Mammoth-on. And a lot of work went into that whole weekend, and Finn was a big part of that, along with, like I said, Julie Pom Pom and Denise Rainey. Just lots and lots of people that were part of making that weekend just be the success that it was, and Finn was a big part of it. She helped. She was, if you guys remember some of the promos for it, she was doing the voiceover for us. She was brilliant. We loved it. Just my camera a tiny bit. All right, there we go. And like I said, a lot of people behind the scenes on that did a great job and definitely deserve recognition. So, and obviously all that money went on to Steven and Brendan's books, or it may still be in the process. Maybe I'll do an update video for everybody tomorrow on the status of that. Maybe another transparency video. So, when's the next one? Finn says. Well, we may do it again. We won't do it where we're raising money. I think Steve and Brendan pretty much have plenty of money for the moment, so they're topped up and they got pretty good. So I don't think we need to do that. So but maybe we could do another marathon like before, where we just get up and talk about the case, get people on who are passionate and have studied the case and that sort of stuff. Again, like we did that weekend, and it was that weekend was brilliant. So. Yeah, maybe we'll get together and do something like that. I know it's taxing on the hosts, so you gotta always keep that in mind. It was very taxing on the hosts. I was very sad because I had to end up catching up later on Paul's segments because of the way that the timing ended up always working out. I was like, I had fallen asleep and would miss a large part of his segments and would bug me anyway. But I eventually got caught up later. But it was rough, dude. It was rough. It was a tiring weekend because I wanted to watch as many of the other hosts as possible while the weekend was happening. It was taxing, very rewarding, but very taxing. So we've all been a little reluctant to jump on board. We've all been, want to make sure we wait a little bit of time and everything, but it would be fun to do it again because, like everybody else remember Stacy's little video that he uploaded after Mammoth-on was over, where he's like sitting there staring at his phone. You mean there's no more? Wait, there's no more lives? wait, there's no more lives? Dude, that was brilliant. Oh, Stacy Seabrook, man, that guy, he's great. So, uh-oh. Hey, Brandon, what's up, buddy? Just got done with the gig. Hey, I'm happy for you, buddy. Congratulations. I saw your the response you got from the, what was it, the Jody Awards? So I saw that. You know what? And it's funny because I'll tell you what, a lot of the things that I felt about you that I wrote when I voted for you, I saw in that response where a lot of other people feel the same way, particularly about your professionalism and, just, and the fact that you take it all seriously and and all that sort of stuff. Like, it was brilliant, dude. I liked it. That was, I imagine high praise from them. So I wish you best of luck on that, buddy. That's awesome for you. So, so talking about that was awesome. Finn talking about Mammoth-on and Stacy. Yeah, Stacy, that was so funny because we were all feeling a little bit like afterwards because it was such a like a charged kind of experience, like, and especially me because I was I was the finale, and I went an extra hour, so I was just coming off of this 5-hour live, and Mammoth-on was over and everything, and I was like, I felt good about what we were able to accomplish, and I felt good about a lot of the people we had on, and a lot of the things that got explored and everything and talked about, and I thought it was all really, really well done and brilliant and everything, but it was like, then there was like, but wait, but now it's over. As taxing as it was, I was like, but it's over. and so seeing Stacy's video that he uploaded, oh my God, that really, it was the perfect, like, it was just the perfect thing to take the edge off. It was really great. Yeah, we were so exhausted. We were exhausted, but yeah, we were definitely on like adrenaline or something. I mean, it was a powerful thing. It was really I mean, an honor to be a part of it. And by no means, I mean, it was so much everybody. It was, the other hosts were really doing the great job of holding up their hosting duties, and and there was so much great content that weekend. It was just brilliant. It was just so much of it all came together. So many people's efforts came together to make something. It was just an honor to be a part of it. Seriously, just an absolute honor to be a part of it. I hope you guys do too. Maybe next year. Yeah, well, it looks like they seriously had some respect for you. If you missed it this year, I think you're probably going to be there next year, because they certainly, I mean, when I read that letter, I mean, I could tell they had some serious respect for you. So I think they may have a clue that you're in it to win it and that you're serious. So that's probably going to work in your favor quite a bit. Drive me to drink. Just the name alone is awesome. So you're probably right. Yes, yay for Tracy Struncy, who was one of the other hosts. Ali Apperson, who is another one of the hosts. Paul Capaldi. You guys all know how I feel about Paul Capaldi. I love Paul Capaldi. We fight like brothers, but I love him. He's great. And also providing little featurettes for us, where when he was going and visiting Steven and stuff, was Mark Hodnott. And he was sending me those videos that I was able to upload during Mammoth-on for people to be able to go over for 5 or 10 minutes and check out real quick. Things like Mark playing Mama and Papa Avery to Steven on the phone for the first time, and Steven getting to hear that song, and just other things that Mark Dahad sent me, and that event was just so awesome. There's just so much in it, so much good vibes that were going through it. It was awesome. So and like I said, it was so many people's effort that made it that way. A lot of people that were behind the scenes, making sure that everybody's links were going to be readily shared and available to be shared as they came through and everything, and so that all the moderators would be prepared. I mean, there was just such a very uniform and like there was just such a coming together of so many different people and being so unified in one effort and cause. It was just brilliant. It was awesome. It was just it's like I said, man, it's an honor to have been a part of it, to have just done my part. And there's lots of people like Fenn and Julie Pom Pom, Tracy's daughter, who was doing a lot of editing on some of the promos and helping out Tracy over on her channel. I mean, just Denise Rainey, the host, Ali Apperson, Paul, some of the guests like TikTok Manitowoc, Seven Pairs Panties, Michael Caccini, who was over on Basically a Lawyer on Tracy's channel, she interviewed him. Just like, I mean, it was just such everything together that weekend. It all came together to be brilliant, and it was awesome. So, and there's a lot of people that are to thank for that. Julie Pom Pom was an absolute powerhouse behind the scenes. In a lot of ways, she was on a lot of Allie's videos, and I think she was on with some of Tracy's videos, and you guys got to see her during Mammoth-on and stuff. But for the most part, she was really behind the scenes doing a lot of work. A lot of stuff, compiling the list, getting together the links for all the hosts and for all the guests and for all these things, and she was doing, and along with Fenn and along with others, they were all doing these things behind the scenes. There's a lot of reasons why Mammoth-on was a success, and it's not just because us hosts are great. It's not just because we're so wonderful. It's because there was a lot of people behind the scenes that were making that happen as well. And I can't say that enough. In fact, I may have said it a whole bunch now, and people may be getting sick of me hearing it, but I literally can't say it enough. I need to start recording myself singing in the bathroom like that one kid B, Kane B, so I can get discovered. Y'all gotta hear Brandon's song "Drive Me to Drink." Yep. Let's see. Yay for Mark and the message from Steven. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome song. So, yep. Brandon's got some cool stuff. Hello, Hinda Sound. How you doing? Transparency, which I plan to, which I just had the idea to put up a video tomorrow to show all you guys. Since the last time I did a video, Tracy's probably had a chance to make several more payments to the guys. So I'll try to be showing you guys that tomorrow. But yes, that's another big part of the success of it was we were being totally transparent. All this money was going to Stephen and Brendan. That's where all the money is getting to. There's no question of that, and like I said, ultimately, I'll show what we got. I'm sure there's probably still a couple payments left for Tracy to make, maybe not. They may have all been paid by now and made by now, and we'll find out tomorrow. I'll tell you that, because I'll do a transparency video tomorrow just to show. But yes, that was a big part of the success. People having faith that they would be able to help Stephen and Brendan. That's, a huge part, right? And that's what they were going to be donating for, and that's what everybody was donating for. And like I said, such a huge success. It was awesome. Yes, Truth Monster, this is live. OMG, is someone actually questioning transparent? No, nobody is. Travis was just pointing out that we were completely transparent, and so that's part of what helped make it such a easy thing to do, or to make people have faith that their donations would go to where they're supposed to go. And transparency, he's just pointing out that transparency is a big part of that. That's all. No problem, Hinda Sound. That's funny. So mainly wanted to have this, live here today to see if there's anything you guys wanted to particularly talk about, in regard to maybe Stephen or Brennan, or if you want to talk about the videos I've been uploading about the Exhibit A. I'd even be willing to talk about the 4th episode. I haven't been able to upload my video about the 4th episode yet, but it's an interesting little. That's an interesting little one there as well. I mean, that's a pretty interesting situation. And it looks like the police actually knew who the guy that actually had done it was, but they were still going after this guy who, it was pretty clear hadn't been a part of it. So that was a pretty odd situation. Because they built it in on the front end. There you go, Travis. Absolutely. Fen, you haven't watched Exhibit A yet? It's good stuff. Haven't seen any of the Exhibit A yet, but I'm intrigued. Yeah. Wanted to get to watching them. Yeah, you haven't watched that yet? I'm busy working on a top secret project. All right. Is that why Glowman's so quiet? So, shall I just pick something and start talking until you guys think of something? Oh, I know. Okay. Well, okay. Actually, I'm glad to hear you. Okay. Enough said, Ben. Gotcha. Yeah, they probably would be spoilers. Yeah, because I'm pretty much pointing out what the main things going on in them are, and But like I said, even after you watch Exhibit A and watch my videos, there's maybe still some more to look into. You always want to look at the evidence against. You want to always try to be as well informed as possible. But I mean, they're interesting cases. The first case with George Powell, that case there is just bizarre in the extreme of how it looks pretty clear that the police just decided to tack it on a guy they figured that they could make it stick to, because the guy is just the dude is just huge, way bigger than like what the clerks were reporting from the two robberies that happened, that night or close together. Anyway, it shows how forensic science can fail. Yeah, it basically shows like how forensic science can be used in a way that makes it junk science. Because I don't necessarily think cadaver dogs are junk science, but I think if they're used in the way that we see in episode 3, I think they're junk science in that sense. I think cadaver dogs are only helpful in the sense that they lead you to something, not lead you to nothing and bark and have that be evidence. Because the smell of death is not unique to any individual. The smell of death smells the same for every single one of us. As soon as our flesh begins to decompose, that decomposition smell is no different from body to body to body. It's the same exact smell. And the cadaver dogs have no way of differentiating between what they're, smelling. And plus that car seat was filthy. But anyway. Confession Tapes is what I still have to watch. That's the one I got to go watch because I haven't watched the new season of that yet. Well, yeah, basically Hinda Sound junk science is, science that's admitted when it really shouldn't be. Like it's the the prosecution will bring it in because they feel it helps their case, but literally, and they talk about how like the judges don't know better because they're not forensic specialists in that field. So if it sounds good to them, they let it in most of the time. So that's what happens, and so that's why we need, well, possibly things like what Dean Strang and Jerry Buting have created, CIFS, which is Center for Integrity of Forensic Sciences, which is going to help, red flag stuff like, when science gets used in the wrong way that makes it junk science. But like I said, I don't believe that cadaver dogs are always junk science. I believe that if they get used in the way that they got used in episode 3 of Exhibit A, I believe that's junk science, in my opinion. But I don't believe that all use of cadaver dogs is junk science. I do not believe that. Waffle House 2. Be ready to binge. Be ready to be binge watching the confession tapes. Great stuff. I've watched it before. I just haven't seen the new season. Never had Waffle House. We had IHOP. Yep, IHOP is a IHOP is a Waffle House. They have waffles too. Hair comparison, bite marks are two clear areas that got morphed into junk science. Well, yeah, I think bite marks can probably, yeah, well, they are, it's sketchy. I would agree it's kind of sketchy, but, and hair analysis, right, hair comparisons, right, there's not a serious enough differentiation in the comparison of hair, unless it's like completely different colors, or something like that. And even then, you don't really know, even if it's a different color, you don't know which person it may have came from. If anyway, there's always a problem with that because it's not, unless there's an intact root or whatever, you won't be able to get DNA. So anyway, the awful waffle breakfast of champions. Never been in one sober. Just saying. It may not be, but they serve all that kind of stuff there. But they are the International House of Pancakes, so technically they're not the International House of Waffles. So I guess you're right. Still here, over at my work desk. So, bullet forensics. Well, I don't know. Do you question bullet forensics, T1? I think when they line up the striations on bullets fired from a gun, because I know that there is rifling on guns to make the bullets spin. Those lines, if they match up exactly, I mean, I find that to be convincing, fairly convincing. Uh, you know, but in some ways, and then I think in some of the ways that in this case, um, you know, Wisconsin actually at the time in 2005 didn't have a way to really, check the ballistics on like 22 rifles and bullets. They didn't really have that ability. They didn't develop it until I think 2007 or 8 or something like that. Or I think 2009, I think it was actually. Anyway, it was after the Avery trial, well after the Avery trial when they did finally get the equipment to properly do that. And so there is some question in that. Fragments is where they can stretch things. So, okay. So if you have fragments of a bullet, that can create room for junk science to creep in, I would think is what Travis is suggesting there. Let's see, out of the 6 through 8, It was supposed to make. I got one. We're SoCal kids. Yeah, I guess so. It's been a large pancake. Dude, you remember when I was a kid, I used to go there and there was like this pancake. It was like a chocolate chip cookie pancake, and they would use like whipped cream and syrup and paint a face on it and everything. And I used to love going there to get that. Follow you to your jail cell. Or if you don't have fragments, you just go to the garage and find an old one. Right, there you go. Right? Yep, Jamie. Totally, dude. I believe some of the tooling from rifling in low caliber weapons that are mass produced, like Stephen Avery's, it can be flawed. Oh, we were talking about like with the Marlin. Yeah. And the thing is, I did a video a while back that where they showed that the beveled part where they show the bone, the beveled the bone with the beveling on that is supposed to be one of Teresa's skull bones or whatever. And so they recently were looking at that and showed that the way that thing, the size of that, if they continue that circle around, that it actually is a larger hole than you would get from a normal 22. It's actually the large. It's actually the size you would get if you were firing the kind of slightly different, but a little heavier, and I guess just a tiny bit thicker than a normal 22. You have to have actually a special type of gun to fire. You can't fire this particular bullet in a Marlin, and they believe this would be the type of bullet that shot Teresa and created the size of that hole. That they feel that a normal 22 that would be shot from a Marlin would have been slightly smaller. So that's an interesting thing. You say good luck for someone that does something bad to me. Okay. Bright Kit Kat. Look at those pancakes. Sorry about that. There's some people over. I love Bob's Big. Yeah, I grew up with Bob's Big Boy too. I love Bob's Big Boy. They've always had pretty good food. So, Waffle House. All right, so everybody just wants to talk about Waffle Houses, and I believe the tooling and rifling and low caliber weapons are mass produced. Right? Okay. Yeah, gotcha. So, yeah, I mean that's what Exhibit A is looking to point out. And like I said, I mean that's why Dean and Jerry decided to create their little thing called CIFS, which is Center for Integrity of the Forensic Sciences, because hopefully they're going to set up a bit of a standard, so that it can inform the courts, about these decisions, and hopefully try to, self-correct some of these issues in the justice system, and hopefully more little organizations like theirs pop up in like every state, and try to inform the courts in every state about how junk science gets used, in a bad way. Used to belong to an astronomy chat group, but every 45 minutes or so, the talk would turn to gastronomy without fail. We are humans and we need to eat. Are you guys all hungry? I mean, I figured for most people it was midnight. So are you guys all having your midnight snack? Oh no, I'm dealing with folks in Australia here too. So okay, got it. It's only midday over there, right? I'll watch Exhibit A this week, Erekose. That could be of some help instead of being a smartass. Yeah. Yeah. All right. That would be helpful. I'll look forward to that. He'll still be a smartass. Oh yeah, totally. He'll still totally be a smartass. You guys may see me and Travis tomorrow doing a video. I have a mind to do a video tomorrow with Trav. I also have a mind to try and get the Wrecking Crew together in the morning for live. See how it goes. No, I want waffles. Like Donkey and Shrek. I'll make waffles. Somewhat. There you go. Oh, what we were talking about after we were live the other night, Trav, if you remember. Oh, we'll talk in the morning, dude, if you don't remember. If you still want to do it, great. If you don't, I'll ride alone. You remember? Okay, there we go. Proud Bird, is that there? Are you talking about the little bar next to LAX, dude? Aviation Bull, yeah. Proud Bird, yes, that's still there. It looks like it's getting ready to get closed down, though, but it has little old planes outside of it. Yeah, it's still there. Yeah, there's like a restaurant bar there. It's there. It's still there. So I'm actually thinking about something. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to share a thought with everybody here real quick. I've been thinking about taking the banner. Here, look. This banner right here. You guys all remember this banner, right? It used to hang up here, right? Right? Okay, so it's this Free Stephen Avery, Free Brendan Dassey banner, right? Okay. I'm thinking. And maybe you try and find some folks in Southern California or in California or somewhere nearby to California that might want to come. And I was thinking about coming up with a list of kind of landmarks around here to go and maybe do some group photos with the banner in front of. I was thinking maybe one on the corner on Sunset Boulevard at the Whiskey A Go-Go, on the corner at the Whiskey A Go-Go, with maybe like a group of us with this banner and get a quick picture, of it, and go and hit over by the Hollywood sign and get a bunch of us holding it up with the Hollywood sign in the background, and that sort of thing. So if some people were thinking about traveling or something or whatever, if we had a situation where some people were converging on Southern California and would be willing to get in on this and be part of some fun group photos with this banner, which has now traveled the world pretty significantly in a sense. I mean, it was born in Australia, right? It came with me to California, right? And then it went to Wisconsin and back. So this thing has a lot of mojo. You know what I mean? So if anybody's interested in that idea and thinks they might be around this area at any point in time, let me know. And if there's people that are locals and you want to maybe possibly be a part of it, then hit me up with an email. ErekoseMAM@gmail.com. So shoot me an email and we'll talk about it if you don't want to talk about it publicly. So that's an idea I've been having. would like to see if we could get a cool turnout and get some really cool photos with some cool landmarks. Maybe one over on Santa Monica Pier, with the big Ferris wheel in the background and stuff, Is Netflix leading the way for reform in our justice system? Look at everything they are sharing lately. Well, ever since MAM1 and its national and international success. Possibly. You can't deny. See, here's the thing that I've been trying to point out. But I'm not naysaying that to you, and I think there's a fair amount of logic in that. But also remember that there is a huge hunger for true crime. And then below that, there's also a hunger for criminal justice reform. So between those two hungers, some of which overlap, but between those two, you get a lot of people who are interested in these shows, and Netflix happens to be the one right now that's churning them out, and putting this stuff before our eyes for us to see. So maybe, but it might be more organic. Maybe than like your statement might suggest. That would get attention, which can spark conversation, which is great. Yeah, I think it would be cool, Finn. So I'm gonna see if we can try and make it happen. Thought about it, but afraid San Andreas will frame us and take us out. No lawyers. I know. I'm asking right after all these earthquakes, right? Nobody's ever. No, this. We're going to probably have our hugest decrease in tourism for probably the next 6 months because everybody thinks they're going to come here and get killed in an earthquake. No lawyers are leading the way to reform like innocence projects across the country. It is also ratings for them. Well, that's what I mean, because there's a hunger for true crime, and so that's what I'm getting at, Let's see. I know how to cook. Eating out is meh. Viewers equal voters. Voters equal change. What is the penalty phase part of the trial? Why are the same witnesses called after the verdict is reached? Hey, come on. Hey, come to call, where the land will shake the keys out your pockets. Okay. At Highway 14 at Avenue S, there used to be a formation that I called the Eye of San Andreas, and I think it's gone now. Oh, really? Yeah. The penalty phase starts if the defendant is found guilty. Right, of course. Sentencing, they call it most of the time, right? So, yeah. Hopefully there'll be some interest in that. I think it'll be cool because we can share all these different pictures with it by these different landmarks, and we got pictures with it in front of the Sydney Opera House. You guys know, with me and Stacy and the Hod and Capaldi. So we've got pictures of us with the Sydney Opera House in the background. We've got pictures with the big bridge there in Sydney that I forget the name of, but we've got pictures with that in the background. We got pictures of us with that thing at Marvel Stadium. So it'd be cool if as I travel, and now we've got pictures of it in Manitowoc at the courthouse in Manitowoc. And if we can just continue taking it around and taking pictures with it everywhere we go, I mean, that'd be awesome. It used to be combined, and they would put guilt, innocence, and punishment evidence all in the same thing. Right. That's what I thought. I'm from Canada, and it's all combined. Court finally found that it was too prejudicial. It said you had to split it up. First, see if they were guilty or not, and then put in all of the bad evidence or not. I love the idea. I will raise awareness and start people talking about who didn't know about it before, and just remind everybody that it could happen to me. it could happen to you. Yeah, I mean, that's something to think about. And we got Don Ethan out there right now who's making up these magnets for the Justice Mobile. I met him in at Raleigh this year, and he pulled up to Eagle Nation Cycles in his vehicle, and he had these really cool decals that were showing his support for Stephen and Brendan on the side of his car. It was awesome. It was so cool. Um, he's now getting more made up. I ordered some. Some other folks have ordered some, and it's for those who are gung ho and everything, it's a way to create conversation about this and that sort of thing. So it's kind of fun. So we're gonna have some Justice Mobiles out there rolling around, with these they're actually magnets, so you are able to remove them if you have a situation where you need to not be advertising on the side of your car, for whatever reason. Then they're magnets, so they can remove temporarily. So that's another good thing about them. But really cool. It's awesome. And I mean, Don rolled all the way home from Manitowoc to Colorado and was periodically posting little videos and pics of the Justice Mobile while he was on his way back. It was, I mean, there's so many cool things that just happen being a supporter and just and being there to be, it's just, you get to witness so many cool things, like what Don did, like getting to see everybody's exuberance and everything out at Raleigh. I mean, you can't put a price tag on these things. These things, I mean, they're just moments where, so many people coming together to agree about something and trying to do something about it peacefully, respectably, in a classy way. And it's just, it embodies everything that I want Stephen and Brendan supporters to be about, and that's what's happening, and it's awesome. It's just cool to see all these different ways that people think of to show their support and that emerge. It's just awesome. Finn's gonna get a Justice Mobile, yeah. All right, Finn. Make sure he puts on your personalized part on the one that comes that's personalized for you. Make sure he puts hashtag 80 more things. Serious. Oh, we don't know, Truth Monster. Probably not for a while. She asked for more. I think we found out recently she asked for another 90 days. So it's like Zellner pointed out in one of her tweets. She knows she's under the gun to, if she's going to deny this, then she has to be able to back it up. So that could take some time for her to write something that she hopes will, float over with the appeals court. Otherwise, it's going to be getting batted right back in her face. So she's taking as much time as she can, try to make sure that doesn't happen. So, that's kind of where we're at. We're waiting. We're in a holding pattern. What are we going to do? I didn't know it was still that way in Canada. But for Canada, it seems like that has nothing to do with our conversation. Yeah, there you go, Finn. Hashtag 80 more things for you, man. It's got to be. You guys, I don't know how many of you have seen the really cool thing that Denise Rainey made for Finn, where she put all of the hashtags of the 80 more things on a board, and it was there at Raleigh. It was on a board, and it was in the grass. It was like stuck in the grass with some little stakes and stuff, and it was there for everybody to look at, and it was brilliant. And Finn now has it now, but there's been pictures posted on it of Facebook. But it was cool, so cool. And Denise Rainey did a brilliant job with it. She plays it down like, it was nothing. But you know what? It took her time to sit and put it together, and it is awesome. So you better know her shit if she denies again. Yeah, right. How's it going, Millbilly? The rocks, yep. Jinxie with her rocks. She was going around and leaving her rocks in various places in Manitowoc, and her rocks are quite unique. They have special little messages on them, some of them, and so she was doing that sort of stuff, and obviously creating more awareness for Stephen and Brendan, but more there with the local population as they would find these little gems that she was leaving around. So, yep, everybody was doing their little part, having their little, peaceful little way of trying to, extend the message and spread the message. And yeah, that was a brilliant way of doing it, Jinxie. So yeah, I mean, just it's awesome to be a part of this thing. I mean, just to watch people grow and become, more knowledgeable about these cases, and to where they're starting to read in, and they're starting to see the things that a lot of us have been seeing for a couple years, and it's all starting to become clear to them. Like, yeah, it's pretty clear that on and on and on it goes. It just continues on and on and on, right? And so it's cool. And there's always that period, at first, because you have to actually start reading and getting to know the material yourself, because you can't feel totally solid in your opinion until you feel that you've really checked it out, right? So it's awesome to see people coming to more and more grips and feeling more and more, just confident and able to argue their point of view effectively, because they know enough of the facts now, and they've seen enough of it out there, and they've done those things so that they can find themselves in a discussion with somebody, and they can hold their own because they know enough to defend their points. That's what it's all about. That's the best thing to see, and to now see more YouTubers popping out. Obviously Denise Rainey's been one for a while, but now we're giving her some credit over there at her channel. You guys should go check it out. She's got a real true crime interest. She's awesome. And she also gets fun little ideas and stuff like that her and Allie and Julie Pom Pom kind of got into a little thing recently that was pretty funny. And so I suggest following Denise Rainey, Allie, all that sort of stuff. All these people are brilliant, but to see these YouTubers popping up to talk about the case, like Linda Kay listening, to see her pop up and want to start talking about the case and starting to build a following. And this is what I asked for last year around Christmas time. Not last year, but actually in 2017. I was actually trying to ask for people to, get up on YouTube and start talking about the case, to where if there's just a bunch of chatter on YouTube about it, it's more likely to catch more eyes. And so I was calling for it then, and it's now finally, almost a year and a half later, it's actually starting to happen. More people are starting to get up and talk about the case. So it's awesome to see. And I mean, so many gratifying things, as hard as I work on all this and as late as I stay up and, that sort of stuff. I mean, but in the end, it's all gratifying to see how much it's appreciated, to see other people being, inspired to want to spread the message themselves and those sort of things. It's just, those are the types of things that make this worth doing, and it's awesome. It's just awesome. I'm humbled to see how many people really care and how many people continue to care and not lose interest. Because we do get a lot of people that lose interest. We get a lot of interest when a new thing comes out, like Making a Murderer came out. There was a lot of interest. It was popular, so there's a lot of interest. And then we had a lot of people, and then it dwindled off. People lose interest. Then MAM2 comes out. A bunch of people come back. A bunch of new people arrive. A bunch of interest. And we're in that period now where people are beginning to lose interest again. So what's really interesting is to see the people that stick around. Those are the people that I want to be working with, because they're sticking around even though it's not the most sensational thing right now. It's not the most popular thing. They're here because they give a crap. So That's the interesting thing you learn in the lulls, you know. And that's a little tidbit from Erekose. See you later, Millbilly. We just have to get Brendan out of prison and Steve too. Yeah, we just have to do that. Yep. Haven't slept right since I watched MAM. I know, right? You know what I mean? I haven't had, I don't know, I haven't had like a full night's sleep since. 3.5 years, I'm tired. I know what you mean, Jinxie. I hear you. I got on board in January like 15 and 16 of 2016. So that's, I mean, I've been in it since the beginning of 2016, and here we are halfway through 2019. So. Exactly. These are the times when we can educate ourselves further, fill in the blanks in our knowledge, and add to the conversation. I mean, I finally understand how the Ricky Hochstetler case fits, and it is important to what we've learned about the SA case, because it informs you about the character of the sheriff's department there in Manitowoc. It informs you about the character of those individuals. So absolutely, brilliant observation, Brenda. Thank you for that. MAM2 caught many of us. I know some started from the beginning. It never dawned on me to check platforms after one. Oh, dude, I went to work the next couple days, and I was driving myself crazy, Jamie. I was sitting there thinking about it, and thinking about it, and thinking about it, and just like the key and Coburn reporting the damn thing before it was found, and just these things kept rolling in my head, and then watching the tactics used by Fassbender and Uyghur on Brendan. And the Brendan thing just continued to anger me further and further until it got to the point I got home on like the third or fourth day after I'd watched them. And I said, I'm going to go look on Facebook and see if there's like something on Facebook I can find about this. And I started looking and started finding a bunch of groups. Got in the group, started looking at posts, started finding StephenAvery.org where the documents were being uploaded. And at the time, we didn't have nearly as many as we have right now. There was a lot there. The full trial transcripts were there. A lot of, but the CASO report, that came in chunks because they were only able to afford it a bit at a time. So it was like, so we were getting that. And I remember when we got the final drop on that, and I mean, it was crazy, but I couldn't help it. I mean, I just couldn't, dude, I could not like focus on my job because I was like wondering what the hell, because I was pissed at what I saw going on with Brendan in that thing. And also was pissed off at what I saw with Stephen because it looked like somebody who had been wrongfully convicted once just got wrongfully convicted again, and everybody just looked the other way. And or at least it was possible that that was the case, and at the time is the way I felt, because I wasn't actually wholly convinced about Stephen just after watching MAM. I became more sure about Stephen later after going into documents and seeing repeated just crap that pissed me off that the state was pulling. And so anyway. Let's see. Me too. After one, but I was like, man, maybe I am the only one who even watched it. Then keep that pen and paper handy. Scribble down any notes when something sounds unfamiliar. So it's yeah. So that'd be interesting. So. I don't know. So, yeah, everybody chatter about maybe possibly trying to do something with this banner. If anybody's going to be in the area, send me an email. Let me know. That way, if you don't want to do it publicly and let people know your business, you can talk to me directly through email at erekoseman@gmail.com. And so anybody that's interested in that, let me know. I think I'm going to get Julie Pom Pom to do it with me, so I'm pretty sure we're going to have her. That would most likely include her son, I would imagine. So hopefully, and we'll see how many people we could get. I know there are some local folks here near me So we could all meet up at some of these locations and do some little group photos. It'd be awesome. So I was just thinking it's about time to head out here. Looks like we've talked about a lot of stuff today. So, and it looks like people may be tired. I have to get back to a little bit of a party I got going on. So, but it was fun to chat with everybody tonight. Certainly to chat about all these things. It's 4th of July weekend, so I hope a lot of you are out there enjoying yourselves and having a good time. Do her job. Well, who knows, Truth Monster? Well, that was a mouthful there. Whew. Not all lawyers are scum. That's true. I'm always happy when I can catch up with everybody. It's good to see you, Brenda. It's absolutely good to see you. Glad you were here. And I don't know, spread the word. Let people know about the little plan for Southern California and the banner. And obviously, whenever I travel, I'll try to make sure I travel with it. So, and I'll try to let people know so that they can meet up at these locations. I'd love it if we could just get, groups of supporters at with pictures of it in many locations. It would be awesome. So, yep. We'll see you later, Fang. Good night. Good night, everybody out there. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe. And, wait. Let's go through T1's statement here. Hold on. Let's see. This case is so controversial and has so many obvious questionable angles to the investigation that even an SA with a considerably low IQ could tell it was being railroaded. Well, yeah, particularly when you hear those calls where Jody's pointing out, things like, how could she have found that car in 20 minutes? You know what I mean? I burned clothes in that barrel, and that sort of stuff, that was coming out. So, I mean, it's just, yeah, absolutely. So, alrighty. So, yeah, there we go. Good night, everybody. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe, and we'll see you. Look for me tomorrow, by the way. I'm going to be doing something tomorrow. Me and Travis are going to be getting together to talk a little something. So it should be interesting. So look out for that. But anyways, see you guys.